Hey everybody, this is Grace. In this video, I'm going to talk about something that I just made a video public. I made videos for years about these kinds of topics, about copycats. A variety, people who are very narcissistic, they're like a high sense of entitlement. Anything that's out there to them is for them to take, like ideas, somebody's identity. I'm not talking about identity theft, but things about another person. Could be anything from their hairstyle to the way they dress, their just their style all around, and their catchphrases or their things they like to quote, or if they like to quote things, anything about them personally. They just take on their persona, and like that. They just steal. Like if that person has a good DIY idea, do it yourself. And they take that. They'll steal anything about another person, anybody. Okay, they don't care. They don't have that sense of care. Now, they might not take something from somebody that, like an idea or, whatever. If that person has more clout or, something like that, they might not. But if they think that having an argument publicly, like we're talking about, let's say online, and it can be at a job too, an actual face-to-face job. But if they think that's going to elevate them somehow, by taking from somebody bigger, they'll try it and then see it, hoping that it gives them, a leg up. Okay. Now, in this one, I want to talk about, it's pretty much that kind of thing when, have you ever noticed somebody, I've said this in videos before, that when somebody is like, they're really the true creative people. Okay, they have minds, they actually can think for themselves, and they don't need anybody to tell them. They come up with their creative, they come up with their own ideas, and they go and they do something like that, and it's it could be like somebody at work says, "Oh, I think this would be a good way to do this," and then they one thing they do is to actually say it out loud. Somebody steals it, and they go to the boss with it, or like if it on work, a job. Now online, like say you found a new creative way to make some money for yourself, that you can do it online. And that way, you feel like you don't have to go out and work at a job, you want to be working from home. And you come up with this idea all by yourself. And you keep creating things. Like maybe you're doing some DIYs and you keep creating them. And then in order to sell them, you need to put them online. Okay? As soon as you do, bam, somebody steals it. That same idea. And they may be as even bold enough as even to take and show the picture you showed, steal it and put it on their own and say this is their idea. And quite often they may be much more popular. And then they start making that product and selling that product, and whatever way you do it, and it cuts into your ability to sell it yourself. Because they're stealing it and they're taking it, and people come to you and say, "Well, you just copied from them." Okay, when they actually had copied from you. Okay, and now some people will even say, "Well, you should be flattered." It's nothing flattering whenever somebody steals from you. There's nothing flattering about it at all. And they say, "Well, they're this bigger people and they do it better." How can somebody do something better when it's your idea? You see, well, they can. Well, they can, but it's your creative idea. And I mean, this can lather, rinse, repeat. I know, since I've been online since 1990, but on this platform, I've seen it quite a bit. I would do something. I mean, right off the bat, it happened to me 7 years ago. My original channel was just over 7 years. Well, this is January 10th, 2022, and it was 7 years in August 2021. And right off the bat, anytime I would make a video on on this topic. Within the next 24 hours, another woman would do the same thing consistently, time after time. And I had just gotten online. I had just started making videos consistently. Ruined it for me, really. And that has consistently happened to me since then. Okay, and like I said, some people say, well, you should feel flattered that they're doing that. No, I shouldn't. I should see what it is. I mean, like if I go out, I'll use this as an example before. If I go out and buy a new sofa and put it in my house and somebody comes and steals it, what, I should feel flattered because they came and stole my sofa? They liked it so much? You see, some people, they can't seem to connect the dots right and think clearly, like, no, that's wrong. It's all kinds of wrong for somebody to steal somebody else's ideas, steal somebody else's, like I'd said in the video, somebody that was stealing my ideas on a daily basis, stealing my thoughts, stealing, a copycat, and that form of stealing, actually tried to be as though she were Texan, and she's not Texan. Oh, the things that some people do. Now, I just made a video with it, had this kind of discussion in it, but it was mixed with a whole bunch of different types of topics, okay? And usually my videos start off with just a little bit of a, like a vlog, and then I get to the topics. It's just more of a stream of consciousness overall anyway. And I doubt I'm going to change that. Now, some people would say because I do my videos like this, I'm not on camera or whatever, or I'm not that great of an orator. Is it orator, I believe? That because they are, therefore I should let them take my ideas. And, well, they're taking it, but they're not giving me that money that they're making off of it. You see what I'm saying? It's just some people just don't think things through. And plus, some people, they have, like when this person is very charismatic, overall they're narcissistic, okay? And they see them, well, narcissistic people can be very manipulative, and they're master manipulators, they very charming. Some of them, not all of them, do the same, but overall, they know how to reel people in, and they will play the victim if something, if they take from somebody like that, and they'll say, well, really, it was my idea. Some things are actually dated, a published date, that they can prove it was not. But I've gone over these things in the past, and but there's a reason it's on my mind, that it's brought up again on my mind. The video I had made public, I had made a month ago, just over a month ago, I believe. And I just made it public today. I'm trying to catch up. And so I'm not sure when I put this one up, kind of separate them maybe. But the reason it's on my mind is because I see people doing this again. And not with me, though, but with themselves, and this can happen in a collective narcissism, where people, they kind of group together, especially if being a part of a group is helps them as far as success. So let me get into that. Okay, so I think we can all, think of some kind of situation, some kind of something that, let's go to being online, and that being part of a group of people would help them, each and every one. Like, so say if they're they're selling some kind of product. It doesn't have to be a product. It can be an idea. They want a new topic. Let's go with a new idea, a topic. One of them comes up with it. Okay, comes up with a new topic. The others start stealing it. Seriously, they do. And they don't give credit to the person who came up with it. Oh no, each and every one of them are going to act as though it's their idea. They came up with this new way of doing something, this new genre, or not even a genre, just a new, like within their community, but something new, and then it gets where it benefits them. Like say they're doing videos, And you can do videos on more than one platform these days. But if they make a video and then the other one makes a video like that, it benefits them in some way, because there's some drama going on over there. Especially if the one says, hey, you took from me, even though that one took from that other person, stole the small ones, the one that has the least followers or subscribers or whatever, but they'll say that the other one stole from them. Well, they stole from them, you see. And the innocent one in all of it is like, they're all stealing my ideas, and they're not giving me any credit. And they're not going to have much of a voice in the whole of it, because these other ones are bigger ones. Okay, they just keep stealing, and then they just keep causing, and then somebody else gets involved in it, and somebody else gets involved in it, and they start having all these dramas and all this trouble going on between the whole group and the, so they're all members of this group. And there's always been suspicions that I have seen personally. I haven't seen all of them, but personally I've seen that there's suspicions that they do this on purpose, so they can draw in people to the drama part of it. 7 years, just over 7 years, I've seen so many times, and I've mentioned that. And one of the things is, I want to say this, a person can, like, I've done videos for 7 years, and a person can keep repeating themselves, because that's what happens with many of these people. Their behaviors are just lather, rinse, repeat. So if you're going to talk about it, you're going to repeat yourself, because their behaviors are such. Okay, you see what I'm saying? Whew, yeah, that was a lot to handle. But anyway, not to handle, a lot to state. Oh my goodness. But so I've noticed something like this happening, and it gets to the point where you say, now who started what? Who was doing it? And if the smaller person, the person that has the least followers and all that, the smaller channel, smaller whatever they're on, whatever they call it, wherever they're on, starts saying, hey, look, this is what they're doing. Like I said, they already don't have many viewers, but they come up and they start talking about it too. Well, others will look at them and say, you're trying to steal their ideas. Just like I mentioned before, it's going to point to you, like you are you're the problem, when you're actually the one that was stolen from. So, but I've seen something like this happen, but I don't know who would be the person with the idea. Okay, and you'll hear different people, because especially if the one person is popular, they'll say, well, it must have been that person's idea. Not everybody would say that, but many of them would say it must be theirs, because they're so popular, because they know so much, and they're so good at what they do, and they come up with all these creative ideas. No, they go and steal them. Okay, now this is not a one-size-fits-all. Not all of them do it, but we're talking about this type that does. Okay, I don't know if you're hearing this on my video, but I hear something like dripping, like water dripping. This has happened to me since shortly after I bought this SUV new. It's only got 4,755 miles on it. And I bought it new like 2.5 years ago, almost, or somewhere around there. Yeah. But every once in a while I hear a water dripping sound. It's very weird, but not always, but sometimes, and that's what I just heard. So if you heard it too, yeah, it's weird. Real life happens in the middle of a video. But at the beginning, I try to put myself on camera, and this is a new cell phone for me. I don't think it's even 2 months old, and it ages me so much, and it does really well-defined things that I don't want to be well-defined, like the hair. My hair on my head, it just defines each strand, and it looks weird. But I'm thinking I might put that clip before, or might not. We'll see. But anyway, like I said, real life. So, there are people, like I said, just talking about, and I've seen it again recently. And it disturbs me. That is one of my, I guess you could say, one of my pet peeves. And, you know, when people do this, because I've had it happen to me, but I think it would be my pet peeve no matter what. I have actually seen it happen to other people. Like there's this one man, he's probably early 60s, and he makes video. He's a professional in his field, and he makes videos about what is his profession. He's actually been on news and all that. And so he makes videos. And there's this other guy that each time the professional puts up a video, this other man who is also a professional or claims to be, will put up the same topic. Okay? Do this video on the same topic. And so it's like, you know, I mean, don't you think that those are going to be recommended to people, and people are going to see that because they can go back, like, you know, look how many hours ago this one did it, how many hours ago that one put theirs up. And nobody's, you know, who makes a video knows what the other person's going to do ahead of time unless they told them. Okay, so, and then let's circle back around to this telling people. Like I said, if you're on a job and you know, you say, "Oh, I think I'm going to do this way. This sounds good," and that person steals your idea and goes to the boss and says it's theirs. You know, here's my idea and all that. What kind of lesson did you learn from it? Unfortunately, many would learn from it, don't trust anybody. They go to an extreme with it. Or they say, never tell anybody your ideas. That might be I'm not here to give anybody advice. Read the disclaimers in the description box below this video on YouTube. But that might be, it might be a good idea all around not to share too much, you know. Not to give them anybody the exact way you're going to go do it, or anything. In a way, like I said, the whole thing of trusting people, we often do trust people. You know, some of us, and some people have learned not to. But those of us who still can trust, and then we want to share, and then we find out that that person is that narcissistic, that greedy, that selfish, that self-centered, that entitled, that they are owed it. They don't care. Whatever it is, they take. You know, so maybe the best lesson to learn from it might be, it's not going to be, I wouldn't want to make it a paranoia that everybody I run across is going to steal my ideas, but the knowledge that, yeah, people do that. Some people do, not everybody, but some do. So it's best, like as if it's written on a piece of paper or a notepad, hold it close to your breast. What isn't that the expression? Just don't. I mean, I'm not giving anybody advice, but to me, it's a just don't. Just don't share that. But now, as I was talking about, in order to sell your product, you have to share. You have to show it to people to sell that product. And eventually, if you have an idea, you have to make it go public. You know, whether it's just between you and the boss, and that those can steal it, and they can perfect it or something, or they steal it because they're more popular, you see. So at some point, you have to give it up, to sell it or whatever. And that's the sad thing. It really is. Because here it is, you actually have a brain. They just have a mentality of a thief. Okay? And they're total BSers. They are fake. They're people who they're thieves. They steal it. They may be popular and know how to speak and know how to present themselves, but it's just, they are what they are. And what they are is not good. You see. But, now, let me go from here. Okay. Now, to me, it would be great if, of course there are patents on things and such like that. Patents and copyrights and whatever. Some people don't go to that extreme to do that. So let's just talk as something that they're not ready to put it's not something they would put a patent on, but it's just, you know, these are people breaking social rules that take still like that. And, you know, just, yeah, they're just what they are, okay? Pure evils in some instances. But I do, you know, wish, you know, not wish, but think that there is actually some way that there's something, you know, that's, you know, for the victim of these people. You know, how can it be more consistent in more of a way that people who steal their ideas like that would have to pay their consequences of their actions. Okay? You know how some people will say, oh, it's cancel culture. How about, where did I hear this? I'm not trying to steal this person's idea. I cannot remember where I heard this. But it's consequences culture. I saw it popped up somewhere online. Like I said, I don't want to steal their ideas. So if somebody knows who said that first, or at least where we think the person said it first, the consequences. You know, you pay the consequences of your actions. And, you know, instead of cancel culture, it's consequences culture. So if somebody's online and they steal somebody's, and do so consistently, steal other people's ideas, now there needs to be that consistency there, because some people do have the same ideas, okay? And even around the same time, it's a coincidence it happens, but not that often. Like I said, you know, you can see it back to back. If a person goes from one person to the next, to the next, to the next, stealing their ideas, or that they take it, you know, consistently from that same person over and over and over, that person's, let's say, if it's their group or their channel or their whatever online, they should lose it. That would be a consequence. They should lose it. So they were canceled in that way of set of consequence to their actions. You know, and I'm not talking about the genre itself, you know, the theme, the genre, but the person's knew something that's new. These days, I mean, what was it? Socrates said through Plato, basically, there's no real true new idea. But okay, that's a stretch. But I mean, nowadays, with things weren't the same back then, but in a way, since I think it was Socrates, but in a way, yeah, it's kind of lather, rinse, repeat in a lot of things, except really, like I was saying, if you make a DIY and you've never seen anybody do something that way, and you do it, and somebody else takes it, that's something that they should have to pay the consequence for, like be canceled. You know, their channel, their page, their whatever, their website, whatever, you know, canceled. And I think that, you know, but the thing about it is now, just like me, I said that about consciousness, you know, consequences, culture. And I don't remember who said it. That's different than just taking it and saying it's mine, like as if it's mine. It's not mine. But there are some things, like I said, some people have the same kind of idea. That's one of them for me was, you know, I think people, you know, I've always thought people, it's not canceling, it's they're paying the consequences to their actions. You know, sometimes it's what they've done wrong. You know, they're paying the consequences to it. But some people, they think that there shouldn't be no consequences to their actions. Usually the ones who have they have an understanding of what cancel culture is. Cancel culture. I don't know who came up with that either. But they understand it, but they do it. They don't cancel people. They don't want to be canceled because they have been stealing people's ideas and or they just want to be really rotten, evil, disgusting, you know what I'm saying. I could go on and make a long list of things. A social and behavioral scientist as it is, but I could go and make a long list. But you know what I'm saying. They don't want any consequences to whatever they do and say and think and take from other people, steal from other people. They don't want to pay consequences, so that the ones who truly do, they don't want any such thing as cancel culture. And they definitely wouldn't want to pay any consequences, which would be canceled. Yeah, but yeah. Okay, now like I said, I've been online since 1990, and it's nothing like what it is today. Many people know that. But since then, I have seen many times, that what I'm just talking about. But also the fact that there are people who, especially around the same age group, this is what I've noticed, personally noticed. And that doesn't mean it means that's what I've noticed. But they come up with the same ideas around the same time. So yes, it happens. It does happen. But like I just said, consistency, okay? And they may even come up with one, twice, 3 times the same kind of idea, because there's a train of thought there. But like I said, consistently. And plus, in a way, you can tell when the person just isn't all that creative like that. They're not that smart, okay? You can think that they're just not they're just not smart enough to do it, to come up with that idea, to come up with that. And plus, when it's that they always come up with it just right after, the other person, yeah, that's when you can pretty much tell. They keep coming up with it right after that person. And like I said, these things are published. Like if I upload a video here on YouTube, the day that I upload, not make it public, upload it, there will be that date. There, it's dated. Boom, date, what day I did. Now I can say I did it a month ago, but how would I prove that unless I downloaded it that month ago on my own, or put it somewhere else where it would be dated? Okay, put it on my own computer or something like that. I've done those kinds of things before. Okay, so there's that. But then when I make it public, there it's dated again. But if I take it off public and put it on private or unlisted, the original date that I uploaded is there. Okay, so like I said, these things you can tell. If I make it public this day and the very next day, the other person, the copycat, yeah, puts it up, then there can be a battle, unless you go back to the original. When was this uploaded? That's about the closest you're going to get. Or you have proof that you have it downloaded on your computer or wherever else public. So there are ways of finding out who is, and usually it's the person who is the thief that's not going to go through those processes to prove themselves. You see? But anyway, I do think, but like I said, we can't be too particular with it, because people do have similar thoughts, especially if they're around the same age. Maybe they work in the same field, or they don't work, or they work as homemakers, or they do the DIY, whatever it is. They can have the same kind of ideas. But, yeah. Okay, I'm just going over and over and over what I just said, right? Oh, boy. But anyway, when I think about it, I just put that video up. So maybe I'll put this one on a different channel. And since it is lather, rinse, repeat. And it's like copycat. I've said it before, it's like I copycat myself. Yeah. I copycat myself. Hey, there's no canceling to that. I copycat myself. Not somebody else. I copycat me. So, it depends on where you put the comma in there, huh? I copycat myself. The emphasis. Yeah. I steal my own ideas. There you go. How about saying it that way? But anyway, I think I've done enough for this video for now. I'm also losing my voice, and it's kind of weird. I'm going to put this at the end of the video anyway, but here it is, January 10th, 2022. Gotta get used to that, January 10th, 2022. And I have had symptoms. I'm not going to go too deep into that, but I have had cold-like symptoms. Coming and going and coming, and but I think part of it is I'm not a doctor. I don't know what it is. See? Anyway, I'm going to wrap this up. But I just want to mention I have been feeling, I've gone through fatigue and different things too, all around. And but I don't know what it is, because I'm not a doctor or nurse, any kind of medical healthcare professional. I'm not. I'll talk to you on another video. Bye.